About a week ago, I found this listing of comic books on Facebook Marketplace for $45, and I noticed some awesome books in there, so I went and picked it up, and it was a huge score. I'm not one to resell comic books very often, but there were some awesome books, a lot of books I already had too, and I have some bills to pay, so I thought I could sell some of these. And part of this listing was about 80 issues of The Mighty Thor, and I actually have a bunch of them, so I decided those were the first books that I was going to try to sell. Well, they sold within a day, and the buyer of these comics actually is interested in more. And so I told him I have lots of comics. And so I started sending him some pictures of what I have. And it turns out he's interested in everything. All of my different keys and minor keys, and some of them, not bulk, but like my stories of the Avengers or Hulk or other Thor comics. He's interested in all of it. These were some of the books that he was interested in. I had them all bagged and boarded today. There are some minor keys in there, nothing too crazy. Some cool Star Wars books that I'd never seen before. You probably saw a lot of these in my other video. But he was interested in so many different things, so I filled an entire long box full of comics of everything I think he would be interested in, so when he comes by, he can look through it. In this lot, I have everything from What If. I'm not super into What If, but I just have a lot of those books. Then I have a couple older books of The Thing in his own solo series, and then we're starting to get into the Avengers books. I didn't give him really any of my modern books. He may look at some of my modern stuff later or when he comes by, but I mainly gave him some of my older stuff. I don't have any crazy big keys of the Avengers, but there's definitely some older books in there. But then I have about 80 issues of just kind of random Daredevil books. No real big keys, really. I'm not a huge... I wouldn't say huge fan, but I don't really know a whole lot about Daredevil, to be honest. But I have so many of his books. I would say at least 80. And so he was really interested in those. I actually have a few Daredevil keys you'll see in just a minute. But I also have some Fantastic Four books, some older ones, some really awesome Hulk books. And in a sec, we're going to get into some of these Iron Man books that I have. But then I only have a couple Iron Man books. But near the end of this lot is Marvel Tales of Spider-Man and Marvel Team Up with Spider-Man and other heroes. So nothing too crazy. It's more just maybe collecting. They're older, but they're not really worth much. Oh, and I have Secret Wars 2, the complete run, which is, not the greatest thing in the world. Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But yeah, there we go. Now we're getting into the Marvel Tales. That's all Marvel Tales. So yeah. But now we're getting into the keys. These are some of the more minor ones. That's the first appearance of the Nova Corps. This is a pretty big one. This is the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill. I'm not sure what to price that, but that's the first time we saw Namor in that costume. This is a 4-issue miniseries of Namor the Submariner. This is just a minor key of the Submariner. This is Thor in his golden costume that we saw in Thor Love and Thunder. This is the first time Captain America wielded Mjolnir, which is a pretty big book. And this is the first time Monica Rambeau was called Captain Marvel. We got the first appearance of Vigilante right here. Pretty decent book, nothing too crazy. This is a minor key, I don't really remember. This is the first appearance of Richard Dragon. These are, again, just some more minor keys of very minor characters in this Fantastic Four series. This is a cool one. This is Daredevil, but inside is actually an ad for Hulk 181. And if you're familiar, that's the first appearance of Wolverine. So that book has some significance. This is also another Daredevil one. This is the first comic book written by Chris Claremont, a really famous comic book writer. We got some other stuff. This is the first appearance of, don't remember his name to be honest. Just some other stuff. We got the death of Supergirl in Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is the first appearance of Artemis Croc. Pretty minor, but pretty cool. Again, just some minor stuff. Then I'm pretty sure this is the first appearance of Justin Hammer. We saw him in Iron Man 2. We got some other Iron Fist. I'm not sure. Oh, that's the first time Iron Fist and Captain America met, which is pretty cool. Some minor keys of the Invaders. That's the first appearance of a character, I'm not sure. Some older Hulk books, but in pretty good condition. Just some minor keys, nothing too crazy. Spider-Man when he got the Phoenix Force, which is kind of cool. I think that's the first appearance of Leech. Some other smaller keys. This is a cool one. This is the second appearance of Guardians of the Galaxy. Really random to be in kind of a thing comic. But then we just got some older Hulk comics, nothing too crazy. But these are the books the buyer was most interested in. The first appearance of Scott Lang, Ant-Man. First appearance of White Vision. Pretty cool. Kind of just a random Avengers book, but in really good condition. It's kind of a random Spider-Man book. But this is the second appearance of Ghost Rider. Well, Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider. Really cool one. I forgot what the key significance of that book is. We got the first Man-Thing in his own series. Second appearance of Deadpool. This is the first cover appearance of The Spot, which is a really cool book. Then this is the first cover appearance of Thanos, actually, which is a really cool book. And upcoming right here, the second appearance of Iron Fist. Really, really cool books. Collecting comic books has been my hobby for the last couple years, and it's so much fun. I love getting these random lots and being able to just go through them. So it's kind of hard saying goodbye to some of my comics right now. My wife is adamant that I don't need to sell all my comics, and I'm not. I still have hundreds of other comics, but I am saying goodbye to some of my keys. But I do have a big box of comic books that I will never sell. They're going to be my babies forever. But I guess the point of this video is it's okay to let things go. Don't worry, I'm still collecting, and the money I make from this can be invested into future books. But now the real question is, how much should I price this? For some of the keys, that pile you see on the left of this long box, the buyer and I kind of added that small pile up to be around $250, but that's not including the whole long box and some of the other stuff you may be interested in. So he seems like a good guy, and I don't think he will. I know what these comics are worth, but I want to give him a good deal. So hopefully I can get a good price on these and be able to pay some of my bills and be able to reinvest this money into books that I want to keep. But before I finish this video, I want to share that I actually make my own comic books. I have made 2 comic books. The first one is called The Tempest, and the other one is called God Given. I've been working on these books and these stories for a really long time, so if you don't want to go check them out, you should go check out raycomics.shop to go order a copy.